Welcome to another episode of The Latest with Maya. Today, I am so excited to have a conversation with actress Nathalie Kelley. You've seen Natalie in the Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Drift, Unreal, Dynasty, The Baker and the Beauty, and most recently, you can see Natalie in the show Motorheads on Amazon Prime. Thank you so much for being on my show. I can't tell you how much it means to me to be talking with you right now.
It's such a pleasure to be talking with you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so first of all, I just want to say again just what a fan I am of yours and that I love everything you've done. I love Motorheads, and The Baker and the Beauty is one of my comfort shows. And I rewatch it all the time, and I was so disappointed when it was canceled.
I know I share in your sadness, and I can't tell you how many people come up to me about that show and express that it how much it meant to them during, especially during that time of COVID. And people
Yeah.
were, like going through a lot of heartache and stress, and they said that that show was like a breath of fresh air and a big warm hug. And
Yeah.
I think that was the first time I really felt proud of my work and the potential that it has to be a meaningful part of people's lives. Because sometimes we're just entertaining and distracting, and then sometimes we're bringing people closer to their full human potential, which is to be a fully expressed, unconditionally loving being. And I think that's what that show does. It really touches people on a heart level. And I'm really happy to say that I've felt this a similar energy with Motorheads. Even though my role is like not as central, I play the mom. I'm learning that moms just stay in the background. But there's something really powerful about that too. And yeah, I was really surprised and delighted when people told me that that show too felt like a big warm hug to them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, both those shows. Definitely. And The Baker and the Beauty, it is just always like just a warm hug from friends. And so, yeah,
And belly laughs, no, because
yeah,
like funny are that cast. And I have to
yeah.
say, out of all the shows I've ever done, that's the cast I still remain the closest with. And we still get together, we still catch up, we still share texts. We became real family. And I think people can feel that when they watch it. And that's part of the magic. So thanks for just reaffirming that. And I want to say also to you and all the fans that we haven't given up. We're not gonna like we may not be getting a season two, but we're aiming to do a movie or something that kind of wraps up the story. So hang in there, keep expressing your love for the show, and I promise I won't rest on this until we deliver a movie so that we can satisfy everybody with an ending that that story really deserves.
Oh, yay, that makes me so happy to hear. I'm so excited. Yeah, who do you most admire, and how has that affected the way you live your life?
What a beautiful question. Thank you, Maya. It's funny, I was just thinking about this like before our call, so I have this really present in mind. When I was a little girl growing up in Australia, my mother made me stay home from school one day. I think I was only 6 or 7 years old because something really important was happening. Nelson Mandela was being freed from prison. And when I was young, I only understood a little bit about what was going on. But as I grew older, I read his autobiography. And it really touched me how this man had moved from fighting for freedom for his people using violence, spending 30 years in prison as a result of that violence, whereby he had this awakening that the violence was never going to secure the dream that he had been working towards, that the only way to do that was to love and respect and sit down with the so-called enemy, the people who, were in charge of the government at that time. And that book and the way he walked through life and that ability to hold difficult conversations with people that you would disagree with, but also love the people you disagree with. I think that imprinted in me from a very young age. And now I see so much polarization, so much hatred and radicalization and violent actions and violent words. And I think that I wish that more people would have read that book and understood what his final message was. And I'm really grateful that from a young age, my mother made me aware of him, and he has been a role model for me in the way that I live my life and the things that I'm passionate about, justice and freedom and safety for all human beings. And I think that's a very powerful message that resonates still very much today.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's incredible. Yeah. Um, so what small things bring you joy on a daily basis?
Oh, I love that question too. These are such good questions.
Thank you.
Such a good question because we usually think something big has to happen for us to feel joyful, but for me, it truly is the small things. So it's the moments with my kitty in the morning where I'm patting him and brushing him and he's purring. That to me is worth a million red carpets. You know, red carpets are awkward, weird things that I fear and I dislike intensely. So, but I think a lot of people glamorize those events and think, oh, if I could just be that person on the carpet, I would be happy. But really, that's not where happiness lies for me. I love when my partner doesn't go to work and it feels like we take a day, we're skipping school and we get to just like sleep in, do yoga, have breakfast together. I think I really appreciate those moments. I love being home in Australia because it's Sydney, where I grew up, is such a beautiful city, and I get to take public transport. And I think people would feel surprised that I take so much joy in getting on the bus and getting on the train and walking around and feeling the sunshine on my face and admiring the flowers as I walk. Yeah, those are the three things that have been giving me a lot of joy lately.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I'm all about just finding the small things that bring you immense joy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, what has been the biggest obstacle you've overcome?
Um, I've had a lot of rejection in my life, and I think that's just the nature of being an actress and setting your heart on something and literally pouring your soul and your energy into maybe an audition and then not getting it. And I mean, I've definitely had more of those than the ones that I do get. And I think that also might surprise people because, again, they think that this might be a very glamorous job. But more than acting, I spend most of my time managing rejection and managing expectations. And I think it's just become second nature to me now, but it's been very character building. But I didn't realize what a strength it was until my dad came to visit me one day. And he saw me go through the whole kind of roller coaster ride of like booking a job, but then it fell through. And then, like, and just all of it, the joy, the sadness, the disappointment, and then picking myself up again and, getting on with my life, going to the next audition. And that happened all in the space of 48 hours. And he was like, I don't know how you do that. He said, I had to leave my job, last a few months ago and then find a new one. And like, even the process of getting rejected for one interview was so paralyzing for me. He's like, I can't believe you do that, like, every other week. And I realized, like, wow, I didn't realize it was such a skill. Like, and yeah, my dad's not big on compliments. He's big on critical feedback. So that was one that really stayed with me.
Wow. Yeah. So what lessons from your childhood have most impacted your worldview?
I have to say, I'm going to say it's a lesson that I then had to unlearn because maybe it'll resonate with people. And even that was valuable for me. So I'm reading a book called Mindset, which I really recommend, and it talks about how you can either have one of two mindsets. The first is a fixed mindset that says you are innately smart or innately brilliant or innately talented. And so, you know, you have to, everything you do is going to be a reflection of that. So failure means that, your whole self crumbles because that's not what we've told you that you are. And I think because I had parents that meant very well, but that were very like academic and they really pushed me hard in school. And I did do well initially in school. And then there was this false belief that, like, wow, Natalie's very smart. Like, oh, she's ahead of everybody else. She's the top of her class. And I know that they meant well, but what that did was that set me up to be afraid to ever fail or make a mistake. And then it actually stunted my growth. And so I'm learning now that there's something called a growth mindset, where parents will tell a child, you know what, everything is earned. Intelligence can be cultivated. You might be born with a certain amount, but you can always add to it. Nothing is fixed. And those kids are not afraid to fail and they're not afraid to make mistakes because they know that, every time they don't get something right, it just makes them smarter or teaches them a lesson for the next time. So in a roundabout way, my parents taught me this because as an adult, I had to look at like, why am I so terrified of certain things? Um, Specifically, why am I so terrified of getting it wrong or making a mistake? Because actually to be an, if your work is like in accounting or if you're a mathematician or something, then maybe that mindset is going to be helpful but when you're an artist, you absolutely need to make mistakes in order to learn. And so I had to kind of rewire that one for myself. So, I'm still grateful to my mom and dad, but I also know that yeah, if and when I have my own children, I'll do things a little differently just to save them 20 years of therapy.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, if you had a warning label, what would yours be?
Maybe huh, like hot when sizzling or caution or don't touch. Like I'm very spicy and like a bubbling pot of water. And if something, and I'm learning to kind of work on this, but if I perceive an injustice, I'm okay and I'm fine and I'll always give you the benefit of the doubt. And I'm a Libra and I like peace and harmony. But if I see something that is not right, I think when I was younger, I used to swallow my voice a lot, but now you'll get burnt. And yeah, I can't switch that part of myself off, especially when it comes to defending somebody or something that I think is being treated unfairly or unjustly. I like to say I'd like to say I've evolved from reactivity and I try to pause before I pounce. But if I feel very strongly about something, there's no pretending that it's otherwise. So just, spicy, hot, eat or like approach with caution.
Yeah. Oh, I like that warning label. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a Libra too, so I can relate to a lot of
Really?
yeah.
When's your birthday?
October 16th.
Okay, I'm the 5th.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. See, it's like we were meant to meet.
We were meant to meet, and the Libras are really here for friendships and relationships as well. So yeah, we understand the importance of relating and harmony in relations, but don't cross me.
Yeah.
Don't do something out of line.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Yeah, it's the one thing I remembered looking up like the signs like about a Libra, like my family and I did that because my whole family were Libras. And so I remember reading that Libras are very indecisive. Um, and so that I can really relate to. I can't make a decision.
I share that Libra quality. You're not alone.
Thank you. Yeah, my family and I always joke that whenever we like were had have like a movie night, it takes us forever to like decide where we're gonna order from, what movie we're gonna watch, and then by the time we decide what movie, it's already late. um, yeah,
It probably takes your family a good half an hour to pick a movie,
yeah,
with you all being so indecisive. I can
yeah,
also relate to that one.
yeah. Yeah, I'm glad that we're not alone. Um, I am pop culture obsessed, and I go in stages of shows that I cannot stop rewatching. Or sorry, not rewatching. I can't stop watching. Um, is there a show that you are currently obsessed with?
Um, you know, I I don't watch a lot of TV, but I was tuning in, to see my show Motorheads on Prime and how it was doing. And I noticed there was a show that was like consistently top of the charts on Prime called Clarkson's Farm. Have you seen that?
Oh, I haven't
It's
seen.
a reality show. And I thought, like, what is this reality show that keeps being number one all around the world? And I thought, okay, I better check it out because there's got to be a reason why so many people like it. And it's really good. It's really funny. And it's about this television presenter called Jeremy Clarkson. He's from the UK. And he's kind of known for being this big, gruff, conservative man, quite posh. And he decides he wants to learn how to be a farmer and he's hopeless at it. And it's really funny watching him fail. And also because I'm so interested in growing my own food, and I want to have a reality show like that one day about you know working on my land and learning how to grow food forests and do all those things. And so I'm kind of watching his research, but I'm very entertained, and it's wholesome. Yeah, Clarkson's Farm. I shouldn't be giving them a shout out because they're currently beating out Motorheads on on Prime. But it's all good. It's all good. Healthy competition is good.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah, I know somebody else had mentioned that show to me, so I'm writing it down.
Okay, good. Yeah, I think you like it. And you know what? I think your family will like it too. And then it'll save you half an hour in choosing what to watch.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I was I mean obsessed with Motorheads when it came first came out. I watched it all in a very short amount of time. Um and so I've been wanting to go back and rewatch that. And
Please do.
yes, I definitely will. Um, and I just started watching season 3 of a show called Fisk just came out, so I've been watching season 3.
I haven't heard of it, but I'll check it out now that you recommended it.
It's so good. It's so funny. So yeah, I highly recommend it if you want to laugh. So, um, when you have a day off, what would your perfect day look like?
Oh, I have lots of days off, and therefore I have lots of perfect days. I get up early, I feed my kitty, I have a moment with the water, drinking my water. I even say a little prayer of thank you to the water before I drink it. I love water. I'm obsessed with water, clean water, praying that everyone in the world gets access to clean water. Um, then I do some jumping on my trampoline. Love that. I love it makes me feel like a little girl and it wakes up my lymphatic system. Then I guess I would get on my in I would get like I would write in my journal, or I'd get on my computer and I get creative because I like to wake up early. Like a perfect day for me is like I'm up at 6 a.m. before anybody else and just doing my thing so that by the time everybody wakes up, I've already got my morning routine out of the way. And then the rest of the day is free to do whatever I want. We could take a walk, take a hike, um, cook food. A perfect day is when I get to eat every meal at home because I just love knowing where my food is knowing where my food comes from and how it's been prepared. And then towards the evening, cuddling up and watching like a nice documentary or an episode of Clarkson's Farm. And a perfect day would involve no screens after sunset and an early night. That's me. That's hashtag grandma life.
I love that.
I'm very boring these days and I love it.
Yeah, I love that. Um, so what genre of movie would your life story be told as?
Honestly, it's funny because I'm actually writing the pitch for this reality show now, and it's kind of like a dark comedy reality show. It's okay, I'm gonna give you two references and you gotta go do your homework now so you understand what I'm saying. Clarkson's Farm meets Absolutely Fabulous. This is going to be before your time, Maya, but I urge you to go on YouTube and find some episodes because this is what I grew up watching. It's a show from the UK about these two women who never grow up. In fact, I'm probably their age now. And they never want to grow up and they're kind of they want to be like hippies. Every week they're doing some new ceremony or and the daughter is kind of like she's very smart and she's quite square and she's always like ugh, embarrassed of her mum. And these two characters, the mum and the friend, Patsy and Adina, were my heroes growing up. Oh, and they always had fabulous clothes. And so I think that would be a little bit of my life, like part practical and and gritty and real and learning how to plant food and thinking about very important things like what are we gonna eat? Where's our water coming from? Like that's what my life looks like right now. I think very critically and deeply about these things. And then but I also want to look fabulous and where's the ceremony? So look up those two references and you'll kind of get an idea of where, what I think a show truly depicting me might look like.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I just wrote it down. I'm very excited to go look up these shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love my life story to be both a musical and a rom-com. Um, that's what I would love.
Oh, I love that combination for you. It says a lot.
Thank you. Um, so what three words best describe you?
Hmm. Tenacious, creative, and hilarious. I'm sorry, but I'm really funny. I think I haven't really had a role that really shows that. but I spend a good part of my life laughing at myself and making other people laugh at me. I'm the butt of all my jokes. And yeah, that's kind of how I know when I'm in a good place, when everyone around me is laughing, mostly at me. And I feel really comfortable in that role.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I have a good sense of humor, and I think it's really important. There's so much heavy stuff going on in the world. So I'm always ready to have a good laugh, especially if it's at my expense.
I love that. Yeah, I am yeah, my mom is like the same way and I try to be the same way too. And so yeah, I love that. I Laughter is the best medicine.
I totally agree. It's the medicine that all the world needs.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Um, do you have any irrational fears?
I have a lot of rational fears that I mentioned before. Where's our food coming from? What are we doing to our water supply? Um, I don't really have any irrational fears, really. I I'm pretty good at looking at my fears. I do a lot of contemplative kind of work around myself. And I'm good at owning when I'm scared of something, but they all feel really rational. Like I worry, I worry about where I'm going to live and be rooted in the next few years, and what might happen in that time and how we can all be prepared, just with all the changes happening in the world. And but I think those are all pretty rational. Like irrational fears are like my mom is afraid of snakes. I love snakes and spiders and all those kind of things. Um, I'm not a very bothered person, but I also kind of live with my head in the clouds a lot of the time. Like I'll walk through a city that's very dangerous, and I won't I won't feel any fear or worry, and maybe I should. So maybe I have a lot of irrational ideas of safety and security. Yeah, no irrational fears, but another good question.
Well, thank you. Well, I think that's good not to have um irrational fears. I have too many. So
Like what? What are some of yours?
um oh, I mean, I'm constantly like, or I can get stuck in my head with just like things going on in the world and kind of like going just like with I don't know, just picturing all these different like scenarios and things that but one thing that is irrational is uh like I have a fear of germs and like using a public bathroom that I know is irrational and I'm trying to work through it, but it's still like it causes me so much anxiety, even though it's so
Oh.
irrational.
You know what? That one I understand, but I would say it's more dangerous to your body to be holding it in
Yeah.
than to actually go use it. But
Yeah.
I feel you on that. It's yeah. My stepdad, like, luckily, thank God, treated for a very kind of the early detection of bladder cancer. And I was like, it's all gone, it's all treated, thank God. But I was like, where's that coming from? And he admitted to me after like 69 years of age that he'd never peed in a public bathroom. And I was like, what? How have you gone this long and not done that? He says, I just wait till I get home. And I was just trying to imagine like all the situations when he would have been like traveling or on planes or the dedication. But then look what happened. So I just say that as like a warning because there are consequences to your body of not following your bodily urges.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that. I have, yeah, I try to, I've always like, well, if it's an emergency, I'll use it, but I'll use a public bathroom. But my mom also always tells me that she's like, it's more dangerous not to use one if you have to and like to be dehydrated. So I'm still trying to work through that because I know it's very irrational. I just yeah,
Maybe there's like a hypnotherapy or something you can do. I
yeah,
mean, but it's a very mild one. I wouldn't,
yeah,
it's not, there are worse irrational fears.
yeah. Yeah. So I just have two more questions if that works for you.
Okay.
So what is your most memorable moment from being on set?
Oh, on Baker and the Beauty, there was so much dancing and laughter and singing. And I think I've posted some of those videos on my Instagram from way back, but like, David Del Rio, like singing salsa songs and us dancing together. I couldn't pinpoint it to one because that would happen literally every time we got together to film. Um, yeah. Sometimes when you are living something, you're just focused on the present moment, but you don't, it's weird to later look back and think, wow, those were some of the happiest moments of my life. I think at the time I was so concerned with like doing a good job as Noah Hamilton, not letting my cast down, being prepared as an actress. And I definitely still appreciated the moment and enjoyed myself and had fun. But yeah, wow, I look back and I think those those were some really amazing peak moments of sharing joy and the joy of making something very special and magical with a very special group of people.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I love inspiring and motivational quotes. And this week, the one that spoke to me is by Oscar Wilde, and it's you don't love someone for their looks or their clothes or for their fancy car, but because they sing a song only you can hear.
Oh,
Yeah. Is there a quotation that has inspired you lately?
I forgot who said it, but I always love the one that says, "Be yourself, everyone else is taken."
Oh, yeah. I love that quote.
I think it's pretty empowering, especially because we live in a culture that really idolizes and puts a lot of people on a pedestal. And then we all end up kind of looking and acting and talking the same.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like that one too.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I love that quote. Um, well, that was my final question for you. I've had the best time talking with you. Really, I can't thank you enough for joining me. So thank you.
Thank you, Maya. It's been a pleasure to be here and share, and your questions were so insightful. I've really enjoyed this time together. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, it's um uh yeah, a dream come true to be talking with you. I am so starstruck by you.
Oh,
So um and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
thank you, Beauty. I hope you have a beautiful day also.
Thank you so much. And that's a wrap on today's edition of The Latest with Maya.